Hey there everybody, welcome back to the Brotherhood Gaming, your favorite channel. I certainly hope so, otherwise my job and career is completely utter and fail. Anyway, this is the 10th main entry to the Tales of series, the ever popular, the ever beloved, the amazing, the not quite as good as Eternia, but we still love the game anyway, Tales of Vesperia. Look how pretty it is, it's green.
Tales of Vesperia, in a lot of ways, was considered a major turning point for the series. To a lot of people, Vesperia represented the final, true, traditional, old-school Tales game.
And with the recent release of Tales of Vesperia, the definitive edition, no, we don't have the box, we felt, hey, now's as good a time as any to discuss the information that lies within. So without further ado, we are thebrotherhoodgaming.com. Let's get started.
And these are the 10 facts about Tales of Vesperia.
Number 10. It was the first Tales game to appear on a Microsoft console. The initial work of Tales of Vesperia began in 2005, during the later stages of Tales of the Abyss's development. Now, at first, the game was supposed to come out on the PlayStation 2. However, with the end of the console generation in sight, the execs at NAMCO decided to move Vesperia to the next generation hardware. At the time the decision was made, they had not yet seen what the PlayStation 3 could do, so they went with the Xbox 360 instead, which made Vesperia the first Tales game on a Microsoft console. But it was a controversial decision to say the least, as the Xbox 360 was popular in the West, but that wasn't the story in Japan. Producers Tsutomu Gouda and Yoshito Higuchi stated that they felt the limitations when they were working on Abyss, so moving their next major project to a more powerful system was a no-brainer. But at the time, only the Xbox 360 was available, so they went with what they had access to. With the Xbox 360, Tales of Vesperia became the first game in the series to have high-definition graphics. This allowed for more textured resolution and a feeling of more depth in the backgrounds. Also, the game made use of the Xbox Live, allowing online content, but here it was just for online rankings and trophy achievements. But hey, it was a start.
Number 9. Yuri Lowell is a darker take on the Tales' main protagonist. The main hero of Vesperia is Yuri Lowell, whose last name stands for the Young Wolf. Yuri was once a member of the Imperial Knights, but out of frustration with how the Empire treats its lower class, he left the Knights and struck out on his own. As compared to other protagonists in the series, Yuri is a bit older and more mature. Also, he does not grow or develop any new ideas through the course of his adventure. He pretty much is the same from start to finish, as he already has a very established mindset. He was designed by Tales veteran Kosuke Fujishima. The game's major theme is justice, and Yuri has a strong sense of it, to the point that he is willing to go to extreme lengths to fulfill it. With this, Yuri becomes a vigilante, and he has no problem killing his enemies. He is the Tales version of the Punisher. While his friend Flynn does fit the mold of a traditional Tales hero, Yuri was designed to look as different from him as possible. Not only with his look, but his fighting style as well, which incorporates more punches and kicks into his usage of arts. All this really makes Yuri stand out from the crowd.
Number 8. Its battle system is a more evolved version of Abyss's. With Vesperia being more or less a successor to Tales of the Abyss, this game's battle system is a more evolved take on it, called the Evolved Flex Range Linear Motion Battle System. Rolls right off the tongue, doesn't it? It adds more features never before seen in the series. For example, more monsters can appear in battle if 2 are touched on the world map. This executes a link attack in which up to 8 monsters can be fought at once. For the skill system, weapons play an important role in unlocking new ones. Certain skills are assigned to specific weapons, such as backstabs, mid-air arts, and increased attack and defense. And more skills can be learned over time, along with titles for your characters. For the overlimits, up to 4 can be stocked and can be used for one character or shared with the party. The game allows up to 4 local players to play together at a time. During battles, players can string combo attacks together, perform fatal strikes, and complete secret missions. These are unspecified actions that can be accomplished during a fight, such as killing a boss enemy while he is reloading his gun. Along with burst arts, mystic arts, skill customization, and strategy, Tales of Vesperia does allow quite a bit of managing to find that right fighting style you need to face the challenges ahead. The action may be a little on the slower and sluggish side compared to other Tales games, but still, it manages to bring enough fun to the table.
Number 7. The game almost had a realistic art design. Since Tales of Vesperia was the first game on the newest generation of consoles, they had to make some tough decisions when it came to constructing the game's engine. Tsutomu Gouda, in an interview, talked about the priorities they had in developing it. He did admit that they did consider using a photorealistic approach to the graphics, but in the end they went with the tool shading technique. Once that was decided, the development from then on went fairly smoothly. In the end, they felt they met their original goal, which was to display many different objects on the screen while keeping the overall high quality of the battle system. I wonder what a more realistic graphical take on a Tales game would look like.
Ah! Oh, my eyes! Oh my god, Rob's dead! Number 6. There was a prequel anime film called Tales of Vesperia: The First Strike. In early 2009, Tales of Vesperia: The First Strike was announced, which was a full-length anime movie. The movie began production while Vesperia was still in the plotting stage, and it was decided that it would be a prequel to the game's events. The movie was directed by Kenta Kamei, which was his first. Due to this, he wanted an experienced screenwriter to help out, so he went with Reiko Yoshida, who had worked on animes from Dragon Ball Z to Digimon and Rurouni Kenshin to name a few. Also, since the Tales of series has a large female fanbase, it was thought that a woman writer could bring the appropriate feminine sensitivity to the script. The movie used 2D and computer-generated animation. Its plot would focus more on Flynn as a counterpart to the game, as not much of his past and weaknesses were explored there. The movie was greeted with positive reviews on its release. While its pace was criticized, and it may only appeal primarily to fans of the game, many still liked the development of the characters and its accessibility. Unlike Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, where I still don't really know what the hell was going on. Anyway, Tales of Vesperia: The First Strike is something worth checking out.
Number 5. The PlayStation 3 port was a Japan exclusive. When Tales of Vesperia was initially released in August of 2008 on the Xbox 360, many fans assumed that it would be an exclusive on that system, but it turns out that was not the case at all. In April of 2009, Namco announced Tales of Vesperia was coming to the PlayStation 3, and this port would be released later that year in September. The PlayStation 3 version would feature 2 new playable characters. In this one, Flynn is fully customizable and a permanent character, and there's also the introduction of Patty Fleur. Patty is a young pirate girl in search of treasure. In addition to her, there's also ties to the First Strike movie, new bosses to fight, higher over-limit levels, more costumes like from Xenosaga and Sergeant Frog, and connectivity to the spin-off game Tales of Versus. But the less said about that game, the better. The game also features far more voice acting as well, which really highlights what made so many fans angry about this. The PS3 version does make the Xbox 360 one look incomplete by comparison. And to make matters worse, Tales fans in the West did not get a chance to play the PS3 port as it was never released in the West officially. Fans would have to wait for the definitive edition in 2019 to get a chance to experience the full package.
Man, that's pretty messed up.
Number 4. Bonnie Pink sang both the English and Japanese versions of the theme song. The main theme song for this game was entitled Ring a Bell, and was performed by Japanese singer-songwriter Bonnie Pink. The song was inspired by the game's themes of deep friendship between men, and love between men and women. The producers decided to go with her after a great deal of discussion. They went to her label Warner Music Japan early in the game's production to bring her in to discuss the theme song with connections to the game's story. Bonnie Pink was also brought in to work on the international release as well. Namco wanted to create an English version of the song for its Western release. Bonnie Pink would go on to write the lyrics and translate them to English. This was something new for the series, as usually when a Tales game gets a Western release, the Japanese theme song would be replaced or would be played with no lyrics at all. This is proof that we were entering a new era for Tales games.
Number 3. the Coliseum cameo battle features antagonists from previous games. One nice tradition when it comes to the Tales series are the optional cameo battles that take place in the Colosseums. This started with Eternia with Kless and Archie appearing. Later on we had Farah, Meredy, and Gar in Tales of Symphonia. A really fun one was in Tales of the Abyss, where you got to battle Reed, Ment, Philia, and Nonali. But these battles featured previous heroes from past games. For Tales of Vesperia, they decided to do something a little different. For this game's cameo battles, you would engage against villains and/or antagonists from the past, namely Daus from Fantasia, Chazelle from Eternia, Barbados from Destiny 2, and Kratos, no, not that one, Kratos Arion from Symphonia. You know, it's always nice to see familiar faces, isn't it? Even when they're pushing your shit in.
Number 2. Yuri, Estelle, and Flynn were guest characters in the Project Crosszone games. In 2002, Banpresto, along with Monolith Soft, with some help from Capcom and Red Entertainment, released Project Crosszone. The game was published by Namco Bandai and was a long-awaited follow-up to 2005's Namco Cross Capcom. Project Crosszone featured characters that expand across the gaming collections from Capcom, Sega, and Namco. The game is a crossover tactical role-playing game for the Nintendo 3DS system. The action takes place in a grid-based location where the players control pair units and solo units. You move them along the grids, engaging enemy units and fulfilling objectives along the way. The game really was a dream crossover with an abundance of characters. It paid off as it was successful and produced a sequel called Project Crosszone 2, which hit store shelves in 2016. Representing the Tales series in this crossover event was Yuri Lowell, Flynn Scifo, and Estellise from Vesperia. In the first game, Yuri and Estelle are a pair unit, while Flynn Scifo was a solo character. And in the second game, Yuri and Flynn are teamed up, while Estelle is a solo. Either way, there was no way that the Tales series would have been left out of this impressive cameo-filled party.
And number 1, the game did not reach Namco's unrealistic sales expectations. When Tales of Vesperia was released, the game received numerous amounts of praise. It was even called one of the most outstanding games in the series, and one of the best JRPGs of its generation. The game was nominated for several awards from major gaming websites. In Japan, it was the only Xbox 360 game to appear on the top 100 selling games of 2008. Overall, it is the second highest selling Xbox 360 game in Japan, with only Star Ocean: The Last Hope ahead of it. Meanwhile, the game had sold a combined 410,000 units in North America and the United Kingdom. That made it the third highest selling Namco game for that time period. Yet, despite that, Vesperia failed to reach Namco's huge sales expectations. Tales of Vesperia was the highest selling Tales game since Tales of Symphonia, but it, along with Tales of Symphonia Dawn of the New World, started the great Tales drought in the West, as several marquee titles would come out over the next several years, yet would not get a timely Western release. So, for Tales fans outside of Japan, this marked the beginning of the dark times, where we were left out in the cold. And that's our list. Make sure to leave a like and comment down below.
And be sure to visit our official website, brotherhoodgaming.com, where you can check out the merch store in case you feel like buying some TBOG goodies, such as shirts and yada yada. Anyway, we'll see you next time. Hey there everyone, did you like this video? If you did, why not give us a thumbs up and maybe leave a comment and watch some more of our stuff. Also, if you really want to keep up with the Brotherhood of Gaming, such as myself, William Morris, or Eugene, you should really follow us on our Twitters, links provided below, so you can see what's coming up in the future. And since, we have to play these games sometimes and record them, why not join us on our Twitch page, where you can hang out with all of us as we do so and chit-chat about the games that we love so much. Lastly, if you want to help keep our dreams alive, you can support us in any number of ways, either by continuing to view our videos, like them, share them with all your friends and family and your peeps and your girlfriends, or you can also join our small Patreon and throw all your spare cash away. We'll even give you a shout out. Once again, thank you all, and have a wonderful day.